Hey everybody, this is me back for another tutorial on color correction. This is for both montage clips and gameplays. I'm starting off with the gameplay section. For gameplays, you want to keep the color correction very light. You don't want heavy color correction or anything noticeable, and that would just include possibly a little bit of color, actual color, and some contrast. So the first thing you want to do for sure is add some contrast to your clips, because without contrast your video looks like crap. But right now I'll show you, too much contrast looks like crap. You can add brightness, but it still looks like crap. So don't add too much contrast, be smart. For gameplays, this is just a way for comparing your color correction and all the video effects you've done. Right here in all your video tablets, you can right click this and you can either select left half or right half, and that'll show you one half and the other half for what you have seen in color correction. So I'll show you. If you select the left half, it'll show you the original, and the right half will be color corrected. So I'm going to keep it like this with the original on the left. So this is just an easy way to compare your color correction. For gameplays, you want to keep it very light, not too noticeable, maybe 0.1 to 0.2. I'd say 0.2 is stressing it for gameplays, but yeah, definitely not more than 1. I'd say 0.1 and I'd say 0.1 is the best for color correction on gameplays, and maybe 0.05 for the brightness. And then you can do 0.15 for the contrast, and I'd say that looks a lot cleaner than the normal. You can't really tell now. It's almost identical, but it definitely has more contrast. It looks cleaner to me. So next you want to go down to color corrector and drag that on, and you can just don't even bother with the color corrector for gameplays. You just want to keep this light and maximize the quality. Add a black and white and drag that. Black and white is just desaturation, just so that it doesn't, just desaturate it a bit, maybe 0.2, so that removes 20% of its saturation, just so it doesn't look, oversaturation is one of the worst things you can do to a clip or anything. So undersaturating it just a little bit makes sure that doesn't happen. So that's pretty much the best you can get for gameplay. That looks pretty good to me. So moving on, I'm going to clear my effects and show you what you could use for a montage. Now say that we're using a chilled out montage, not too much editing, and again I'm going to add a black and white and desaturate it a bit. You can go much heavier. I'd say like 0.3 would look pretty good. And you can't actually tell, but if you drag it all the way, you can see that the color fades. This is a bad spot for it. Let me find a better spot. So here, this is a good spot. You can right away tell that this has changed. And 0.3, you can tell that it's faded. That looks pretty good, because you don't want oversaturated clips. It looks ugly. And then again, brightness and contrast. And for editing, you can go a lot heavier, but you still don't want to go too heavy. So you could up the contrast to say 0.3, and that's definitely pushing it. Maybe it does look pretty nice, but I'd still up the brightness, maybe 0.05, and I'd say that looks pretty damn nice. Because I don't have a sniper clip right now, but a sniper clip, there's a lot of fuzz on the black outside of the scope, and whatever, I just up the contrast until there's no more left, and then I up it another 0.05, and then I up the brightness a bit just to make it look nice, because you just want the sniper clip to look clean. That's basically what you want to get. You want to get a clean look. So next up is the color corrector, and this you can change the different settings for the colors. So say if you want more red, you can add more red, like you can see. You want more blue, or you want more green, you can add it. But you don't want to go too heavy. Like that's like freaking night vision without a scope. You don't want that. You could make that night vision if you had a scope, maybe, but you don't. So let's say you want Scrapyard. You want to change the colors to whatever the map is. Scrapyard's more of a desert map, so I'd add some red. Add some extra red. I want to go back to that frame. I'm just going to zoom in here and move it. I like that frame with that care package because you can easily tell. And then there's lows, mids, and highs. So basically, the lows changes the low colors, like the deep colors like this right here, the black on the tire. And the mids change everything in the middle. The highs change stuff like the white back here, or the yellow on the care package. So basically, if you want some red on most parts, you want darks, blue, darks. See, that turns a lot because there's a lot of darkness in this frame. So you can add some blue, and you can tell that some blue is changing on the walls. But as you can tell over here, there's not much changing because that's not a low. But if you change the high, you can see there's some change now. But I don't want that. I'm going for a reddish look. So just find something that matches the clip, but what you don't want is yellow, because yellow usually looks bad. So you can always counter that by going around here. So I'd say that looks pretty nice. Keep it slight, keep it clean. And then you can go to color corrector secondary, and then you can change stuff like the gamma and etc. Gamma makes it brighter basically in a different way than brightness. And that's a fairly nice looking clip. You can always change it with, there's thousands of settings here. You can change anything. But that's as far as color correction goes. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.